Oh no, is it not? Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Thought it wasn't gonna work now. All of a sudden, there. Welcome, all you business geeks, to the Business Geeks podcast, where we geek business. I'm Super Joe Pardo, and I'm joined by my two wonderful co-hosts who push me every week to be more super, including week 2 of Dress Shirt. That's been hanging up here in the out here in the studio, in between, in between weeks, if you will. I was going to say in between sessions. This week, we are discussing creating online revenue streams for your business, especially as we get into like this being a normal and needing more revenue streams, needing more diverse revenue streams in our business. Doing the way things we were doing is just not going to get it done, apparently, as we get deeper and deeper into this new normal. We also have two grind my gears, one about a drywall company, which I will get more into, and one about Jen's third-party food delivery, apparently not doing the food delivery too well. As well as one cool thing that talks about a CRM that I had not heard of. So looking forward to that. Jennifer Crawford, of one of the co-founders of Sparent.co. How are you feeling tonight, Jennifer?
Feeling just fine. Thanks for asking, Joe.
Just
Doing
fine.
good. Yeah, I'm doing good. I was telling Sam before we went live that I'm exhausted because my typical workday just has no boundaries these days because there's no distraction of outside activities. So it's just 7 days a week, work, work, work. And I'm just, luckily I have work. So this is not a complaint. This is just telling you that if I can't complete a sentence or I'm a little off, you'll know that it's just, self-induced exhaustion.
Well, you gotta self-care. That's gotta be, if not the first thing, one of the top 3 to 4 things for you to be. Because look, Jen, if you don't take care of yourself, who will? No one else is coming through.
Not
no
the
one's coming through that
topic.
door.
It's not the topic of this episode.
Oh, here we go.
Whoa, got in there nice and early with the bell.
Yeah. Also joining us, Samantha Riley of SamanthaRiley.global.
Wow, that was hard, Joe.
I'm
doing well. I didn't realize that was such a hard word. I know why it's a hard word, because none of us can travel globally right now. We're all stuck in our homes. That's why you tripped up on that one.
We are stuck in our homes. It is not fun. It's not fun at all.
A bit over it, but we're all healthy. So, gratitude for that.
Yes. Absolutely. Because it could be so much worse. I think all of us could be in such a much worse situation. I was watching a Mr. Beast video where he called up people and he was like, "Oh, I'm a news reporter on this news station," and he's like getting the story from the people of how terrible their situations are. And he's like, "Would $10,000 help at all?" And they're like, "Yeah." Then they just start crying because yes, $10,000 would help them. So he just wires them $10,000 at a shot here. Because that's how Mr. Beast rolls, and that's awesome. But
so cool.
But yeah, to go, people are in much worse situations than the 3 of us are, for sure, and hopefully, than any of the people watching our show right now live. If you're watching, hopefully you're watching on Facebook.com/Business Geeks Podcast, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And let me see if I can remember, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Time.
You are a legend. Well done, Super Joe Pardo. That's impressive. Yeah, exactly.
That's the top of my head there. So let's get into our topic of the week, which is creating online revenue streams for your business. Who wants to kick it off this week?
Well, I just wanted to share one thing. I think that is a nice segue into the topic. I read that Jenna Kutcher, influencer and the founder of the Gold Digger podcast, I've listened to that one. It's pretty darn good. She shared that she once read that the average millionaire has 7 different revenue streams. So she spends a year building 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I know we're a lot of businesses are looking for online revenue streams now because in-person business is not possible. So obviously, we are definitely going to be talking about virtual and online revenue streams. But I think in general, it's a great practice to shore up your business with multiple revenue streams. So you don't have all your eggs in one basket and you have a more resilient business overall. So I love this topic. I'm always looking for new revenue streams. I love revenue streams. They're so great. So yeah, I thought that was a good reminder from the millionaires. I mean, they're doing something right.
Nice. I think we probably do need to also add, though, that what we're talking about today is revenue streams within our business. We're not talking about investments,
right,
or different because, as a business owner, I like to make sure that I do have investments and that, there's superannuation and all these other things, but we are specifically talking about creating revenue streams within our business.
I'm so glad you clarified that. That needed clarification. No, that is so true. Revenue streams within our business.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah. Where's my bell, Joe?
Oh,
she needs a bell.
Sorry, I was doing other things.
You're distracted.
I could tell.
I'm sorry.
This is why we need 3 co-hosts, because at any one time, at least one of us is distracted.
Exactly.
little bit. It's sorry. I'm trying to do the shares. I'm getting up on LinkedIn because LinkedIn. Ding. Trying to do all the things at once, and I was.
We love you, Joe, and we appreciate all that you do for us.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate Leon and all that he does for us. Thanks for Leon. Here's something that I've heard the other day. Somebody was trying to. It was Graham Stephan. He's a YouTuber. And he broke down like the ads that were on his channel, on his YouTube channel, and they were like talking about like, oh, like you can make $1 million and blah blah blah, and you got to create all these revenue streams. Well, the one of the ads was basically telling you how if you create YouTube videos, every video you create is a revenue stream, and he's like, no, that's not. And this guy has like he's almost like 2 million subscribers, Graham Stephan, and he's like, yeah, no, that's not quite how that works. It's one revenue stream that you have to keep putting in and keep putting in and keep putting in and keep putting in to get out of to get money out of it. But so it's just to clarify, like people have to think about it. I don't look as like my books as I have 4 books. I don't look each of them as a revenue stream. To me it's one, right? I have books. It's a piece of it.
I'd agree.
For the thing. So it's just keep that in mind at all times, that it's not as simple as like, oh, I made a video and now I'm monetizing it and now it's a stream.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't think anything that we talk about is framed in the sense that this is how to do it the easy way. Like there is no easy way in business. I get so, disheartened and frustrated when, other, quote unquote entrepreneurs, make hyperbolic statements and make it seem like it's just it's so simple. Like just make a few videos and, you'll be a millionaire like me. And when actually everything takes a ton of work and time and commitment and consistency and maybe a little bit of luck on top of that. So yeah, we're definitely not saying that this is nothing here is the easy button for you.
No, although you did say simple, and I actually think that simple and easy are different. I think that business can be simple with processes, with systems, but it's not easy. Even something simple is not easy.
If I had a bell, I would give you a bell.
There you go.
There's a lot of bell happening.
There is.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Super Joe.
Thank you for the reminder.
All right. So a lot of businesses I've seen or heard from are businesses that are not necessarily accustomed to providing their services online or in a virtual format. So, maybe they're yoga instructors or personal trainers or massage therapists, people that are used to these like in-person high touch point businesses. So I think one online revenue stream that these people can look into, not just for now, but also in the future, is our online classes, courses, virtual consultations, one-on-one meetings, basically repurposing your knowledge and putting it online. Luckily, with video conferencing, you can bring some of that in-person magic. If you're working one-on-one, like I know therapists are now, doing their therapy sessions via Zoom or other video conferencing platform. So I'm not saying that it 100% translates to every single business. There are some businesses that are really, really tough to translate online. But I think if you think a little bit outside the box, there's probably more opportunities than it seems like on the surface.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a news, like the news happened to me when I walked into the room, and they were talking about a makeup artist who, that's a super high touch point, like on people's faces. So she transitioned into, and I might be like messing it up a little bit, but she transitioned into doing makeup lessons for children via online booking appointments and that kind of like group classes and stuff like that. So because apparently children want to learn how to put makeup on. That's apparently a thing. I didn't know. I mean, my daughter's only 4, so I guess I'll find out in a couple of years. But but the kids want to learn how to do mommy's makeup and stuff like that. So she's providing these classes to kids and making apparently a good enough okay amount of money to warrant doing it and have someone talk about it.
Nice. I like that she's really thought outside the box and thought about different aspects that are not normally provided. And that was something that Jen and I were talking about before we came on. It's one thing to provide a service that makes, that can come to you very easily, but sometimes you really do need to think outside the box. And I'm going to guess, Jen, that you've probably got some case studies there or something to share around people that have done that.
Yeah, definitely. But before we go there, I think it's important to ask a few key questions to sort of get your mind moving down the path of another revenue stream. So one is, what do your customers need now? And particularly in the pandemic, customers' needs have definitely changed. So what do your customers need now that maybe they didn't need a month ago or even yesterday? Where are your customers hanging out online? In a previous episode of the Business Geeks podcast, we talked about how West Elm provided free virtual backgrounds to, this expanding work from home base because of the pandemic. And so they were able to find basically a distribution channel to showcase their products online. And that was just from them, I'm sure, asking that question is, where are our customers hanging out? Well, they're hanging out on the, on virtual conferences and Zoom rooms. So how can we be visible to them? And they came up with a simple solution, and it was brilliant. The third question, what products and services complement mine? And I like this question for 2 reasons. One, it sets you up for the seeking out of strategic partnerships. And it also sets you up for thinking about maybe different stages that your customers could be in. And I think of an example, my friend Meredith, she has a self-publishing services company called Eaton Press. And she was basically helping business people publish their books. And that's kind of what she did. She had these executive packages, but then she realized that she could come into their lives at a much earlier process, like when they were just thinking of the idea and they haven't actually written it yet. And she could add services at that stage. And then she could be there when it was time for them to write the second book. So she had essentially, answered to a need, but she answered to more needs from the same customer. So I thought that was really, really brilliant thinking on her part. So those are the 3 questions. What do your customers need right now? Where are they hanging out? We're talking about online because that's where everybody's hanging out right now because of the pandemic. And what products and services complement yours?
Nice questions, Jen. Really like those, because answering those questions helps you to understand. Yes, absolutely. Uh, knowing the answers to those helps you understand where to look first, where to uncover the greatest opportunity.
Absolutely.
I like the
Absolutely.
idea of partnering up with other people, other services. There was another story I saw talking about. I want to say it was like it's 6 business owners, like 1 or 2 breweries, a restaurant, and I don't know, it's like 6 different local businesses that all teamed up. They were like, I guess they posted something in like one of the Facebook groups or something. It was like, hey, what are you guys doing to like survive this thing? And then they ended up teaming up and they put together what did they call them? Like pandemic boxes or something like that, or isolation party boxes. And it's like got the beers that the brewery makes, and it's
Love
got
it.
pre-made food in the box that you can heat up, something to that effect. And they're just like they're just grab bagging them right through the window and selling them like
Nice.
crazy. Yeah, so like things like that. It's like, okay, so you're combining your marketing power, your brand power, you're cross promoting each other, and you're all getting some sales that you wouldn't probably necessarily get otherwise if you weren't
Mm-hmm.
like all coming together on this
Yeah, so
and
they
doing
they
something interesting.
actually they asked 2 of the 3 questions, right? They asked, what do our customers need right now, those, pandemic emergency boxes,
Yep.
and what businesses complement ours? Who else can go in that box with us to make it a really awesome box?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was like, yeah. So those 3 questions, they really do work, I swear.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was just telling Jen just before we were recording, just before you were here, Joe, that I've done this with one of my promotion partners, that we sat down at the beginning of April and said, okay, well, how can we work together? And what is the gap that our market has at the moment? And with my knowledge of helping people to launch their online programs, his knowledge is in the automation, so setting up the back end of businesses. So we put together a program for business owners to get them online, and have a program launched within 30 days where he implements all the back end, which is for a lot of business owners, that's what holds them up. So
Yeah.
so asking those questions is just so good.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's see. You asked about use cases. What do I got here?
Yeah,
Uh,
I knew that you would have them there.
yeah. Okay. So, we talked about strategic partnerships and finding other revenue streams. I don't think we talked about one thing I think that companies can consider if they're offering services, what products could they offer to add to their revenue stream? And if they're selling products, what kind of services could they offer online to enhance their revenue stream? And one of our regular listeners, watchers, Mary Sue Dayhill, she's the CEO of Work Smarter Digital. I'm actually going to do a spoiler alert. So this is also like my one cool thing. So she has a business that helps other small businesses streamline their day-to-day operations using automations. She was, completely 100% service-based. But while she's working with these small business owners over the past, 7 years, several years, I think, she realized that she was recommending CRMs to them that were great, had great reputations in the market, but they didn't necessarily have all the features her clients needed. And so she started seeing, the same features being requested. And she realized, hey, like there's a need here for more of an all-in-one platform. So she looked into it. She now has an all-in-one CRM called Work Smarter CRM that has some great features that were missing in some of the big name, like household name CRMs. And she's now selling subscription to that. So she's added this product to her service-based business that answers directly to her clients' needs. And I just think what a beautiful move, what a beautiful pivot, what a beautiful new revenue stream. I thought that was a great example.
So good.
So good, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good.
definitely.
So good. Okay.
Like it.
Thank
So
you.
partnerships
Oh,
is
sorry,
first.
I forgot. I was like,
You don't have to ding me every time.
all you do is deliver awesomeness.
No,
Every
She
time you have
does,
me around,
doesn't
it's like,
she?
awesome, awesome.
Make me
awesome.
work
All I
harder.
hear- That's all I hear every time you open your mouth.
So there's partnerships. What are some other different revenue streams that we can create? Because there's just so many.
So many. So many. Well, there's always, the business to business partnership, right? Finding a business that complements yours. You have a similar customer base, but you offer different things. But also, I don't think people think about partnering with events enough. Now we're all like sort of event organizers. Online events, offline events. I'm getting ready a week from today is the Small Business Grit Summit. I hope we're at 170 tickets. Be the 171st.
So good. Congratulations.
Oh, it's been a Herculean effort to make this happen. But there are many ways to partner with events, particularly if their audience is your audience. We have been approached twice by businesses that have wanted to partner with us. One we turned down, and one we just ended up not happening for another reason. But they wanted to work with us because they were interested in our audience. They wanted to get in front of our audience. So whether that's a sponsorship, and getting involved that way, or if that's something a little more creative where you package this event's tickets into something that you're offering and you co-promote, something like that. So I think there's a lot of opportunity with events. And the reason I like events is because people are really engaged and you can really narrow down that audience. So I don't think enough people think about that. And there are so many online events. And I'm not even just talking about summits and online conferences. Even think small. So here's an example that just happened to me. I was invited to do a Facebook Live in a very small Facebook group, 40 people, but they were all therapists. And they were doing this website challenge that week. So as a prize, they had 2 hours of Sparent virtual services. They purchased it from me and they offered it as a prize. And then they had me come in the group to talk about working with the virtual team. And then I took questions live on that day. So it took about, total, maybe an hour and a half of my time. I got like 2 discovery calls out of it. Plus, people on my email list, and, it was just a great experience. That just this tiny little partnership in this, small group. And I got tons of questions and interest, and my business got in front of people who, potentially need me now or in the future. Engaged. It didn't cost me anything. And it didn't cost them very much either. So anyway, there's a lot of opportunity out there if you just kind of open your mind to it and just think about your audience, what they need, and what you can bring them that's of value. And the only other thing I'd add with the strategic partnerships is it has to be a win for everybody, and meaning it has to be a balanced win. So, and this is sort of my litmus test for any strategic partnership. I have to win, the strategic partner has to win, and our audience or customers have to win. And it has to be as equivalent as possible. Otherwise, it's just a no-go. It's not a good strategic partnership. That is 100% my litmus test. I never vary from it. So, it's served me well so far.
Awesome. You've been doing a lot with sponsorships with your live streams, haven't you, Joe?
Yes, we have been. But first off, Jen, you didn't mention where people can go buy their ticket for your event.
Thanks for reminding me, Joe. Ding, ding, ding for you.
Thank you.
If you go to smallbusinessgrit.com, you'll get all the information on our speakers and our agenda. You can buy tickets. If you use my speaker discount code SPARENT10, you'll get an all access ticket for just $37. That's 35 speakers, 12 live events, 25 digital gifts, a summit playbook, probably something else I'm forgetting. It's packed with value, I promise you, because I don't do things any other way. So you'll love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Yes, Jen, that is true. Well, so speaking of that, though, speaking of my virtual events and sponsorship, so I actually just got off the call like 2-3 hours ago with Tim Gillette, who runs Blog and Videocon, and we were talking about doing not only a mastermind together, but also doing it's like a sponsorship swap back and forth between our two events, because they're both running. Like, I've been running mine every 2 weeks. He's running his every 4 weeks. Like, and they both hit in the same similar spaces, but they're different. They're definitely different types of people, and it just makes sense to like kind of bring it all together. So looking for those opportunities, and I think they come, if you put yourself out there, right? And I think as a business owner, you need to put yourself in a position where you're networking with other people. It's not just for customers and that kind of stuff, but like networking with other business owners, and not just networking with the people that are like in your buying group or in your association or whatever, but like just like your local chamber of commerce, right? Like that kind of thing, because you don't know like what you don't know until you get to meet the people. You get the right vibe. It all starts to like, oh man, why didn't I see this before? And then next thing you know, you're selling these, pandemic boxes that party in a box.
And you don't know how far down the track that's going to be either, do you? Sometimes those relationships can be 4, 5, sometimes even longer to nurture until the time's just right. And you're like, let's do something.
Well, I mean, this show is living proof of that, right? I mean,
totally.
Right there. We all have known each other for. Sam, I've known you for what, 4 years now? I think
5 years. Yeah.
5 years. Wow, time is because my show is almost 6 years old. And Jen, I've known you since 2015. So
yeah, 2015.
That's 5 years. In September it'll be 5 years. So yeah, so you just don't know how things are going to shake out and who's going to end up being the good guys in the in the story.
Well, lucky we found each other, or we're the good guys.
Yes. Yeah. So
Whew.
Oh, what a relief.
Guys, that reminds me
I was
of
losing
something.
sleep over that.
You reminded me of my one cool thing, so I need to write that down before I forget.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a one cool thing, but now I do.
So on that partnerships, I want to add into that mix there affiliates. Because this is a really great way, going back to what you were talking about, Jen, about, what do your clients need maybe before or after they see you, and going and having a look at those products that you might be referring and signing up as an affiliate. Affiliates are such a great stream of income because you really don't need to do much.
I like it. And also think about flipping it as well. Think about using affiliates to help you sell your products or services.
Yeah, so I have a love-hate relationship with affiliates.
Doesn't everybody? Everybody does.
Everyone does. Yeah,
it's a natural response.
Yeah,
I mean, of course we do.
Well, okay, so before we just throw out you can just have an affiliate link and you're gonna make a bunch of money. Like, you got to have an engaged audience, right? That's a purchasing audience that they buy things, and you have some kind of proof that like that's going to happen. Not for the person that you're joining up to affiliate with, but just for your own sake, because otherwise you're just giving branding power to somebody else and not getting a dime for it. So it's one of those things that has to make sense in line with your audience, and your audience has to be engaged to that level that like you actually think they're going to purchase. They're not just seeing the brand and like that's going to be one of the 21 times they need to see a brand before they trust that it's a thing and they are going to purchase. So
I think it's
cautious. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I think it's up to us as a business owner to educate our audience. It's not about, just here's an affiliate link and you walk away from it. You do need to educate your audience around what that product is. But yeah, I also have a love-hate relationship. I love when I open my PayPal account and there's money in there. I hate having to lots of other things about it. So I think that is really cool, Joe. But in saying that, I think that it is something that most business owners really should look into because it's
purchasing audience. So
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like affiliate arrangements personally. The only ones I'm interested in are ones where the person who buys from the link gets something, and then also the person who is sharing the affiliate link, gets something. I've seen some one-sided affiliate situations. In fact, Stitch Fix who I love. I've stopped my Stitch Fix, unfortunately, because I don't need new clothes because I'm not going anywhere. So I've had to put it on pause. But, so Stitch Fix, for those who don't know, it's a subscription stylist. So you get clothes in a box. It's clothes in a box. And I signed up to be an affiliate. And what it was, if somebody purchased from my link, I would get like $25, but they didn't get anything. So I actually wrote to them and I was like, well, I mean, I would rather get less money and like split the money with this person because they don't really have an incentive to use my link. They think they need an incentive. And so it wasn't because of my email, but they did change it. So now I think it is like 25 or something like that. I think that's important. Anyway, that's an aside. No,
I agree with that. I always try to push for that as well because I want people to have an incentive to go through me rather than just like, just use my link and it'll work out.
I don't feel right benefiting if they don't get something out of it. Then it feels much more sleazy to me.
I think that a lot of these kind of businesses do that. Normally it's you share your link and the person that you're sharing it with gets, $20 off or whatever it is. So I think that's normally from what I've seen, normally
I thought so too, but I've been seeing, I don't know, the past year I've seen more where they don't give anything to the person who's clicking the link. And I think, that's not going to work. I don't like that.
No, I agree.
Well, there's been an apocalypse with Amazon affiliate links too. They're not given as much money as they were in most of the categories, and they have not been as especially for a company that has been one of the few companies that can operate at like basically almost full capacity. It's kind of not cool for them to do that to their people, but
yeah, that's too bad.
It is. But
although I'm not surprised, it's Amazon. Like they're not
exactly.
They're not the most warm and they're not the most warm and fuzzy, corporate entity out there. I think we can all agree on
absolutely.
That. Yeah.
Let's talk about creating a platform of influence.
Ooh.
This, I know. It's how sexy does this sound?
I think it's super sexy. It's super sexy.
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Well, I consider a platform of influence a podcast. Like this is believe it or not, this is a platform of influence. Ding, ding, ding. A podcast, a book, a blog, an event. If you're known for an event, these can all be platforms of influence. They're basically your real estate, your brand, you're behind them, and these are things that are interesting because they can be monetized directly. Like you can sell a book, you can sell sponsorships on podcasts. You could sell tickets to events. You can, sell ads on your blog. But they're also on a higher level. They increase your visibility, your influence, your know, like, and trust factor, your network, your community. It attracts all of these things to you, and it makes whatever you're doing something that you can sell. So your services and your products are getting in front of people through your platform of influence. Platforms of influence, love them.
I love it because if you don't have an audience, it's pretty hard to sell.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because you had, that I think that was very well thought out. That's why I said I think you did some research there, Jen.
I come prepared, Joe. I've had 30 years of being a business owner. That's been 30 years of research and development here. I'm still a work in progress, and I still don't know that much.
I love it that we're all just making it up every single day.
Yeah.
I came up with platforms of influence. I thought that felt really strong. It was a good name.
Totally. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I was it's one thing you left out that probably didn't even cross your mind. What about sponsoring a documentary?
I can sponsor whatever you want.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like from our platform of influence, right? Documentaries are a thing. Like, clearly if you're like whatever kind of business owner, you don't necessarily have the cameras, know how to work the cameras, know how to edit edit the film and all that, but like you could get like sponsor somebody to do a documentary around your thing that you're trying to promote. I mean, a big example of that would be like the diet of the week or the diet of the month, or something to that effect. Building that platform that way. But I a cheaper, more effective way, in my opinion, is start a podcast, start a blog. You literally
Right.
you just hit
But
the
wait a
keys
second, Joe. Wait a second. Is it?
What?
And this is just I don't necessarily know the answer.
Okay.
But would a sponsored documentary be the same as an infomercial?
So
because I don't think the documentaries typically have like sponsors, because you don't want to like appear that you're biased in any way. So would a sponsored documentary?
They all have agendas anyway. I mean, like,
well, yeah.
So like you look at like was it that Fat, a documentary like that had the guy that I forget, I can't remember his name at this point, but they all have a lean, right? They're leaning towards something, and they all take, it takes a lot of money to put a documentary together.
Well, sure.
A lot of time and effort. So I mean, sponsoring, I don't know if that would be an infomercial. I guess it depends on how the information is presented. And how, because like, okay, so like right now the Michael Jordan documentary is going on. It's 10 parts, right? That they're doing all about Michael Jordan. Well, Michael Jordan signed off on it. Like, he's one of the executive producers. So it's like, it's about his life, but he's one of the producers. So he got to decide who was the villains, who was the good guys. Like, he wrote
it is
history.
His life. He would be the expert.
Yeah, true.
I mean, if anybody's going to have a say, it's going to be the actual guy.
But the thing is so it's all about the last season he played for the Bulls. So it called The Last Dance. So the idea is that there was a lot of people's stories involved with that season. This isn't about his life so much as it's about that last season, that last run. So I don't know.
I don't know about the sponsoring of documentaries. I guess it's worth considering. I mean, it all comes down to the audience. And
well, writing a book is basically an infomercial if you're writing it to promote your business.
Well, you'd be there. You would be showcasing your expertise, and a byproduct would be, of course, hopefully helping your business.
Right, and the same with the documentary, just doing it in video form.
Okay.
Very true.
Okay, Joe.
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know everything.
I don't know.
I'm committed to be open-minded.
No, but I think building a platform, especially now, because if you're out of business, so you're not conducting business, like this is the perfect time to be doing that, to rally people and to show that you're showing up, right? If you are not able to conduct your business, like right now is that time to show up, and in marketing and in creating a podcast, create all those things you like. Oh, I should do that one of these days. I should build a website one of these days. Like, this is that time. Like, take the couple of days, get a course, whether free or otherwise, and do it.
Yeah, that's a
really good point.
That's a good point, and it's. Yeah, I mean, I totally get it. I don't want to be too hard on people because it's like a tough time right now. But I will say, in terms of potentially making a course, creating a course easier or a book easier, a lot of business owners have a lot of content already created, and maybe it's already in the form of like worksheets or workbooks, or maybe it's 10 years of blog posts. And so I think there's probably a lot of potential there for them to repurpose that content, freshen it up, turn it into an ebook or a course or a webinar or a seminar or a mastermind series. Like, I think you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. You can just, turn the wheel into something slightly less than a wheel.
It's amazing how much content most of us have. Like,
you forget about it.
Yeah, I even just when my Facebook memories come up each year, I'm like, wow, I was saying that 8 years ago. How about that?
Yeah, it's a good idea to go into your if you're like me and you dump everything into your Google Drive. Like, it's a good idea to go back and explore your documents in your Google Drive. It's always like almost like Christmas in there for me. I'm like, I totally forgot that I wrote this. It's still relevant. What can I do? So yeah, definitely see what's out there. What do you have that can be repurposed into something that would be of value and that you might be able to monetize?
Totally. I did that in my Google Drive at Christmas, Jen. I found 2 workbooks in there from 2014 that I repurposed and put a new cover on and turned into something new.
See?
I agree. It really was like Christmas in there.
I love it.
Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you off then. I know you have something awesome to say.
No, that's all. Well, so I was just going to, shameless plug here. If you're a business owner and you want to figure out how to repurpose that content or put out an ebook or any of those things we just mentioned that you're like, I've heard of that before, but I'm not quite sure how to go do it, I think you should reach out to one of the three of us, whichever one of us feels right to reach out to. And because you can go to was it Sam at businessgeekspodcast.com, Jen at businessgeekspodcast.com, or Joe at Joe at businessgeekspodcast.com. Reach out to one of us, and we, I'm sure I speak for myself, but any of us would be happy to help you make that happen.
Absolutely.
Hey, yeah. Hey, where are the questions tonight? Is it just
me? That's what I was thinking. Is there a glitch? Tonight. There's no comments.
We have people watching. Nobody.
I guess the first time I feel very rejected. Who does not want more revenue streams for their business? This is I thought this would be like a hot topic for sure.
We've had people watching all night long, but just nobody. Everybody's shy and apparently lose on vacation.
Because we've got no hashtags.
Yeah,
it does take. I find like for engagement, it does take like that one brave person to start it off. It's like the person that's willing to take the first scoop of the potato salads. Everyone else can have potato salad. Like you have to have like somebody's got to break the seal and get the engagement going. Otherwise, it's just like the silent majority just hangs out.
Oh no.
Yes, break the engagement seal, somebody. This is great. Because we're like just this episode's clearly an evergreen episode, and for years to come, people will be listening and being like, they had no comments. What losers! Oh my god!
I know, but we had people. People are watching. I promise you. But no, there is no comments tonight.
That's okay.
So far, it's sad. It's sad. I'm depressed about it.
You don't have to feed the beast. You don't have to feed the beast.
So, What else do we each got to
I want to talk about creating online programs because there is not one. This is one of my favorite revenue streams, and there is not one business so far. I'm happy to be wrong, but I have not ever had a business come to me that we haven't been able to create some sort of online program because there's some knowledge, there's some expertise that can be shared with what it is you do. Maybe you are repeating yourself daily over and over and over, and you can turn that into an online program so that people can learn, in their own time and you don't need to repeat yourself. Or maybe you want to share your expertise with people all over the world. There's so many different ways to create online programs, but it's one of my favorite income streams.
And of course, I have a use case. Have either of you heard of Angela Fair?
No, I have not.
Okay, well,
Angela.
Let me tell you about Angela. Angela doesn't care if you know her because Angela is a watercolor artist, and she found a new channel to distribute her watercolor classes. So she is now teaching her classes on a growing community by creating courses on Teachable, which is one of those course platforms. It's well known. She now earns over $250,000 a month from the sales of her online courses and membership. So she's got a watercolor artist. This artist is not starving. Let me just tell you.
Nice.
Now, obviously, just saying that seems like, oh my gosh, she just, so easy. I guarantee you she has probably a gazillion courses. She's probably, is very talented and is a good teacher. I mean, she's got the X factor for sure. But I think most people don't think that type of income is even possible. And Angela, has proven us wrong.
Well
So,
done, Angela.
yeah. And recurring revenue, like the membership model comes back into play again. Like if you have enough of that, enough courses and online content coming out, you can visit a membership revenue model. And I know all three of us love
Mm-hmm.
recurring revenue.
Mm.
I
Oh,
think you
it's a
just
beautiful thing.
I think you just set me up there to talk about. So we talked about this a little bit at the end of last week about me
Yeah.
setting up a
Mm-hmm.
online archive school, for, not school of podcasting, because that's the Dave Jackson. Shout out to the Dave Jackson. But you know, I went through and I put it together. I did all the works. It's over 100 hours of video content and growing monthly. And put the landing page together, and you know, based on the two great co-hosts that I have above and below me right now, it's $9.99 a month or $99 annual to get in. So I'm looking forward to launching that this weekend, because I'm doing another online virtual podcast conference. This one's on community building. It's totally free. You can go to indiepodcon.com/virtual to join us. And and when I'm there, I'm gonna offer. I'm not offering it on the website at this time, but during that event, I'm going to offer 20 lifetime passes for $2.99. So 20 people will have the opportunity for $299 for effectively 3 years of, you know, yearly payments to pay up front and get lifetime access to not only the content and the growing content, but access to the private Facebook community and a monthly call to learn more. So yeah,
Nice.
so I'm looking forward to filling in the gap that I didn't have, which was recurring revenue, which I tried to create back in 2015, but I didn't have the right audience at the time to do it. So
Mm.
I took that knowledge that I did, you know, dusted off some of that stuff and pulled it all in. And yeah, so there's a ton of talks in here. It's you actually, unlike most sites, you can actually peer behind the paywall. If you go to the home, you can see all the different categories that we have here. And then there's, you know, 13 pages with, I think that's like 12 per page, 12 videos
Wow.
per page, and
That's
some of them are
awesome,
full
Joe.
on conferences. Yeah, so it's worked out. It seems like it's going to work out really well. So that's my hope.
How
We're
do you
hoping.
organize all that content? Is it searchable, or do
Yeah,
you have
so
it like,
it's
in certain categories?
it's searchable. And then it's in topics, which I used what are they called, tags. So
Mm-hmm.
these are all tags on the page. So like there's 27 inspirational videos,
Yeah,
there's
okay.
hosting skills, there's 10 videos on hosting skills, so you can go through all those different videos there. And then, I mean, I could click on it now, but I'm actually not logged in, so you see I can't log in,
Great.
or I'm not logged in, so I can't see it. But the idea is that I wanted it to be open so people could like peer through and be like, hey, look at all these different videos I have access to if I sign up. And the other thing is, it gives me an opportunity to create upgrades for my MapCon tickets, or my Icon tickets, into Indie PodCon tickets going forward. Like, hey, for an extra $75, you'll get a year subscription to Indie Pod University, where it would normally be $99. Bam! Like, all of a sudden, not only are you saving money, but you're going to get access to the current event that you're paying the ticket for, you know, in there, and you're going to get access to a year with a community of extra support and calls and things of that nature to go along with it. Plus, it gives me the opportunity to do something that I want to do, but I don't want to invest the time that I'm not making money on it, which is creating content for content creators. So
Mm.
creating original content and having a place to put it where I'm already making money, rather than like, I'm going to create this and then it's just marketing for an event that happens once a year. Happens
Mm.
once a year. So the idea is, like, if we can build that, then now I can start justifying the time it takes to do the research and put the effort into, like, review tech products that go for podcasting, review services and things of that nature. And I want to do stuff like that, but I gotta have the justification for it, which is the money coming in to justify doing it.
Got to feed those cute little kids.
That's right.
Yes.
Got to put them through college someday. I have one pricing suggestion. Like we're like
Yes.
obsessed with pricing. Okay, so you have the $9.99 a month, which and then you have the $99 annual. So the 99, so the $9.99 makes the 99 look like a good deal.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you should consider having like an individual, like somebody who wants to buy like one video, like they're particularly interested in like one particular subject. And so the cost of 2 individual videos would be more than the monthly, therefore making the monthly look like a good deal. So maybe it's like $5.99 or $6.99 for one video.
How do I make that not confusing? Because I'm confused. Are you confused, Sam? She's gonna
No,
say no.
it makes
I know
total
she's-
no.
see, there you go. I knew she was
because
gonna
me and
be-
Jen, we've got these crazy minds.
Well,
I didn't know. You're confused because I did not
No,
explain it well.
So,
it
like, you
totally
could pick
makes
and
sense
choose,
because
like,
it's the
2
first thing I
videos.
thought.
You thought that too?
Really?
I did, and I'll tell you why I did, because I was on an audio site the other day where it was like, it's so much per month, and I'm like, I can go to another site and buy a particular piece of background music, and it will cost me $49, or I could sign up to this other one for $15 a month and just cancel tomorrow. So to me, I'd already thought that it's that.
So,
Yeah,
so where's your?
I don't
So
know.
let me understand. Let's see if I'm understanding. So basically, you would have a way to purchase just any 2 videos that you want,
Or just any one. But like
Any one
if you
video.
but if you wanted 2, you might as well get the monthly because they would be more expensive. And then what I'm hoping would happen is that somebody like might pick and choose the content, but if they find that they keep coming back and using you as a resource, maybe it's the second or third time they do that, they're like, I might as well just go in for monthly so that I can just keep coming back.
Mind you, in saying that, $9.99 is so inexpensive.
I know.
I mean,
It
it's
is.
like 2 cups of coffee
It
at
really is so
Starbucks, like,
inexpensive.
It's not
It's just
bad.
like it's like
yeah.
2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks, and you're there. So
Yeah.
I don't think
But somebody might not want to
commit.
commit to the monthly. They might not want to have another reoccurring like charge or something.
So I mean, the only other thing I could think of that I could easily implement is like a free level of like basically a free trial for like 3 days or 2 days or something like that.
Yeah.
No, you're like, yeah, no.
I don't know.
You know what?
It's
just an idea.
$9.99 is so inexpensive. I would
And they can cancel at
that's
any
what it
time,
is.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what do you both of you think on the lifetime access? Like limited time. Like I'm thinking about.
Well, I think it's great as a
offering it, like,
launch.
once or twice a year.
Yeah, I think it's a great launch strategy.
I think so too. I think for $2.99, it's not too much money. You're already getting over 100 hours of video that is educational, inspirational, and all anywhere in between. So to me, like you're getting a ton of value there, and that's before we even add more stuff, before we do more conferences in there, and before we do original content in there. So or more original content in there, I should say. But yeah, so that was the idea. It was like, it gives me a launch thing. It gives me something to get people excited for. And then maybe, in a year from now, I'll offer it for, maybe $3.99 or something to that effect, where the price for the lifetime goes up as we move forward.
I can also see already, because of the amount of content you have, Joe, that you could segment the content and package it up into like, this is
Mini courses.
like a marketing course, and this is your community building.
I was thinking of doing something along the lines of like, so I have the how to start a podcast guide, right? And there's tons of videos and podcasts interlaced into that. So I was thinking about putting some of these guides together, and putting them behind the paywall with the videos that you only get while when you're in the university. So it creates that, like, here's the monetization one, and like I break it down, and then it helps me figure out, like, going forward, what topics am I actually looking for? right? What am I actually looking for to fill those gaps so that
Yeah.
that guide becomes more complete rather than just me
Right.
talking about it. There's somebody else that's talking about it, plus, my spin on it. So that's the way I was kind of thinking. So over time I could build out these guides and help people walk through these different types of topics.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
With that much content, you could do a lot with it. I love it.
I think so too.
Mm.
I'm hoping that it's a big success. It would be really awesome to have a great launch, and we will on the 16th. We'll be launching it.
Well, we are going to want an update.
Okay, well
Absolutely.
we will hopefully have an update next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time or Australian Eastern Time, Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Well done.
Yes, thank you. So,
Awesome.
Are we anything else we want to wrap up before we move on to our grind or one cool thing grind my gears and then one cool thing?
I think the only thing I want.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Jen. I was just
sorry.
Say,
I
I
spoke
think
too
that,
Oh,
No.
beating up on each
we
other.
were all just excited to get on and talk about this, but I think that every business owner should periodically look at this every few months, take a look and see what opportunities are we missing, and asking the 3 questions that Jen mentioned at the beginning of the show, and every quarter thinking, what can I do to add another revenue stream this month, year, whatever, week, what is it? I don't know where I am.
I agree. That was a great way to wrap up, Sam. That's very good advice.
Ever. It just started.
We got some grind my gears.
Let's grind some gears. Let's grind some gears.
So, Jen, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I found an article on Distractify about a food truck owner who shared his invoice from Grubhub and how much they deducted from his earnings. So, and he shared this and made it public because he wanted to encourage people not to use third-party delivery apps such as Grubhub to order directly from your local restaurant or food truck because of the he brought in, or he sold $1,000, over $1,000 in food, and he cleared under 400 after commissions, delivery commissions, processing fees, promotional fees, order adjustments, another commission, another delivery commission. So out of $1,042.63, he walked away with $376.54. It didn't quite cover his food costs.
Wow.
So this really angered me. And this goes back to our talk about strategic partners and partnerships. I think Grubhub positioned themselves with the potential to have a beautiful strategic partnership between them, restaurants, and customers. I mean, they could have created a win-win-win. And instead, I feel like they were predatory, taking advantage of restaurants, particularly now, who are so reliant on delivery, where they didn't need to be before. But now that people can't go inside and eat, the only way they can serve their customers is by delivering their food or having them pick it up. So now, because they had to pivot so quickly, these restaurants didn't have time to, interview delivery drivers and set up their own app and that sort of thing. So they had to turn to Grubhub. I'm assuming, I don't know, I haven't had a chance to research it. It's on my list of things to do. I don't know how Grubhub fees compare to Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything like that. I've heard rumors that they're all pretty bad.
Guarantee you they're
pretty
all bad.
steep.
I'm sure
Steep.
up there. And I'm sure he probably, as a partner, as a restaurant partner, they probably all signed something saying that this is like privileged information. But I just think there was a better way to do this. I don't begrudge Grubhub needing to make money, needing to pay their drivers. But I just think that there's a way to do this where the restaurant doesn't come out like completely annihilated. I mean, this is painful to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what, it is a lot of money, right? So like, 63 divided by 46. So the average order is only 22.66 an order. That
Well,
seems awfully.
it's a
That seems
food
low.
truck. It's a food
Oh, it's a
truck.
food truck.
So
Okay,
keep
so
that
I
in
guess
mind.
that is pretty good. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. That still seems low though, because if you're, I don't know. When we order out, it's at least like $40 every time. By the time you get 2 meals,
Well,
aside,
I bet the fewer families order from food trucks are probably more, individuals and
singles,
couples.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah, I would
that
have
would
thought
explain.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense then.
Also
But
might be a lot of lunch orders.
so at that
Mm.
point, wow. I mean, that's.
It's brutal, right?
I don't. Yeah, that is. I don't understand and what's the explanation for commission, delivery commission, process? I mean, processing fee. I guess.
I mean, it just seems like a lot of fees. I'm not sure the promotions. I don't know what they get for that. I suspect I think they have to opt into that, but maybe they didn't know how much it was going to be. I think, Grubhub has certainly a responsibility to be completely transparent. Like this should not have been a surprise to the food truck owner. So I don't know, without really doing a deep dive into the research, and I don't know how easy it is to get this information if you're not, signing on the dotted line with Grubhub. But any way it shakes out, like this is not a balanced arrangement. This is not a balanced partnership. They're not all winning. The restaurant is not winning. I doubt the customer is winning because I think they upcharge on the food too. So I don't know.
They have to upcharge on the food. I mean, that's 64%.
Right. So that's,
That's insane.
That's my grind my gears. It's a little sad, actually. I mean, I think I'm more sad even than mad about this.
Yeah, and especially
sad.
I mean, I guess at that point I don't know if they're locked into paying any kind of fees on top of that either. Like to be a Grubhub, to be able to like promote that they have Grubhub as an option, because at that point I'd be like, well, just dump it. I wouldn't even offer it, because if you're just gonna lose money, that's not good for anybody.
Well, I'm sorry, Giuseppe, who had to go through that, because I know that he worked really hard to bring in that $1,000. This is the Chicago Pizza Boss food truck in Westmont, Illinois. If anybody is out in the Chicago area, please visit Giuseppe Badalamenti and his fabulous Pizza Boss food truck, and order from him personally.
Help him out.
Yeah.
Love that.
It seems like
we need to tag him in that.
People feel the same way. Yes, we do need to tag him in that. So my grind my gears is not sad. Well, okay. It is sad. It is sad in some ways, right? So my grind my gears this week is I wanted to get some drywall, because as you can see, I have fabulous plastic walls behind me. If you haven't noticed, and I wanted to get some drywall, and I wanted to get a quote. So I call literally a week ago, and I was like, hey, can I get my garage? These are the dimensions, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, somebody will call you back. And they answered on the first, 3 rings. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, there's actually somebody there. And, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So a week goes by. I hear from nobody. I call them back and rang, maybe 6 or 7 times. And then somebody picks up, and she's like, yeah, our estimator's, super busy right now. He probably just hasn't gotten back to you. I don't know. They're just really overwhelmed. I was like, so I said, so it sounds like I should just call somebody else. And she's like, yeah, I would call somebody else. And I was like, wow, you're really.
Why didn't they say that on the first call?
Yeah. Well, exactly. If you're that overwhelmed, you can't even. I was willing to wait. I didn't have to have it tomorrow. But gee, tell me, hey, we're really busy, and we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to you, even if you can't sit on the phone with me for 10 minutes to figure out what the dimensions are and all that, and how much it's gonna cost. I just wanted to guesstimate to know should I just go buy drywall myself and hang it? I don't really want to do that. It's a lot of work, but I will if I absolutely have to. So when they didn't, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go to Home Depot and get my own drywall, and I'm going to do it. So if sitting in front of me
is there only one drywall person in all of New Jersey that can help you?
I mean, I could. Well, look, when I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, so the drywall itself is going to cost me like $450 for the
Mhm.
amount of drywall. So I was like, okay, you got to tack on at least $1,000 for people to be at your house for a day.
Yeah, but have you
So
hung
that's
drywall
like,
before? It is so worth it.
I
It is
have
a
not.
horrible
You do
job.
not want to do it
It is
yourself.
a
it a horrible job? Well,
horrible job. Oh
I
my
am
goodness, it's a
absolutely
horrible job.
No, I haven't, and I
It
guess I'm
is
about to.
it is hard work.
I am about to
It
find
is,
out. It
yeah,
sounds like, 'cause
yeah,
look, so
yeah.
if I,
Well, it depends what you want it to look like. Is probably the caveat there. That you can do it, but it never looks quite like the professional version.
Yeah. Well, it is a garage, so maybe there's some forgiveness
So
there.
maybe it's just fine.
well, that's the thing, right? It is for the garage, and we're not going to be, I'm not going to be like taping it and spackling it just yet. Like I'll get a professional painter to do that stuff later.
I think this also highlights that you really need to have somebody good dealing with your customers. Like I'm
Yes.
thinking this, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a possibility this is just not somebody that was really great at booking appointments and didn't really represent the business well, particularly since they practically invited you to go somewhere else.
Well, she said after I said that, she's like, "Yeah, I would call somebody else." I'm like,
I mean,
"You guys
there's a
are
business.
that busy? I mean,
There is
Jesus.
a business
All I want is a
lesson
phone call."
here. You better make sure whoever's representing your company is front facing with clients, is top notch. Pay them pay them $5 more an hour and get better help, because you think you're saving money by paying, somebody, $10, $12 an hour. They might be cheap, but look at all you're going to
business away.
sending business away. You're going to come and you're going to be like, where's all my business? You're not even going to know. There's no record of that call.
If you pay peanuts, you get monkeys.
I like that.
Yeah,
unless you're running a zoo, you don't want that. All right. Well, those are meaty.
Cool thing. What was everybody got here?
Well, I already talked about mine, but it's Work Smarter CRM. It's a CRM I've had the opportunity to test drive for the Small Business Grit Summit. We created the summit and managed the entire summit on the backbone of this CRM. And a couple of things I like about it is we can create landing pages, websites within the CRM. It has multiple messaging features, so we can actually not just email, but SMS message with our attendees. And there's a phone. You can integrate your phone in there. So it's super streamlined there. Yeah, it's just got a lot of great bells and whistles. It's also, you can create your courses. It's a course platform, and it supports memberships.
Wow.
And email automations, the whole thing, landing pages, emails, SMS templates, email templates. I think there is like nothing it can't do. I just love it.
Wow.
So I was just really happy with it. We've had lots of compliments on like our communication and organization throughout the summit. And I think this is really because we had a really good platform to work from. So anyway, Work Smarter CRM, you can find more information about it at worksmarterdigital.com. And you can schedule a demo. You can see all the features and the pricing. Oh, it also has a calendar appointment application. So if you're using Calendly or Acuity, it can replace that cost. So it's a little more expensive than what I'm paying for my current CRM. But once I factor in the fact that I can get rid of my Calendly, I can get rid of, maybe one other thing. And so it's really quite affordable when you look at it like that.
It says email marketing. Is that like a MailChimp or constant?
Yeah. You can do you can craft your emails. You can set them out in sequences, and like everything relates to each other. So you can set up like really sophisticated type of relationship building sequences. So it's pretty amazing. So please check it out. If you have a CRM or think you need a CRM to manage your pipelines and your relationship building, your courses that you're creating, this is the bomb.
How many emails can you store in there? Because it says up to 40,000 emails per month, which isn't bad.
No, it's not. Unlimited pipelines, unlimited funnels. It has a funnel feature, unlimited team members, unlimited contacts. So that's
wow.
Yeah,
I might
it's
actually be
super.
interested in this.
Yeah, it's super great. And our listener, Mary Sue Dayhill, and my partner at and the Small Business Summit, and my client at Sparent. This is and she was the use case I mentioned earlier. So this is a personal recommendation from me. I completely trust this product. So I
Good
hope
one.
everyone will check it out.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Nice,
love it.
nice.
Yeah.
Sam, did you have a one cool thing? I thought you
No,
said you had
I
one
will
cool
wait
thing.
for mine because we've gone quite late.
Oh.
All right. Well, I was just gonna throw it out there that
Did.
if you like if you're a movie person, you need to watch Uncut Gems. Because with Adam Sandler, it's a experience to say the least. It is awesome. I don't. It's based on like inspired by a true story. But it's absolutely it's an experience. If you like gangster movies, it's kind of like a gangster movie. But it's an experience.
Okay,
So I'll leave
Check
Uncut
it out.
Gems. Well, check
Yes,
it out.
you should. You really gotta watch it. It'll have you on the edge of your seat the entire time. It's like it's like a sensory overload. It's awesome.
Well, I am an
Absolutely
Adam
awesome.
Sandler fan personally, so I can't
Me
wait to check
too.
it out.
He's good.
Yeah,
He is good. He's really good in this movie. He's not funny. He's very little funny.
he can play
But
serious pretty well. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he can. You need to watch this film. It's really it's a good film. It's a great movie.
Cue it up.
All right, so everybody, let's see, what do we have here for? I got so many tabs open now. I'm lost. All right. Here we go. So if you've enjoyed this episode of the Business Geeks podcast, share it with the business geek in your life. You can send your questions or suggestions for future episodes to questions@businessgeekspodcast.com. Catch us next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or Tuesday, 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm looking forward to next week. I hope everybody and your family are all staying safe, and we'll see you all next week. How much dancing are we supposed to do? Oh, just doing the hands. All right.